This is Wildcat Dojo Conversations.
Hi, welcome to our episode on mixing the elements. First, let's have everyone check in.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. It's Jackie.
Today, we're joined by Lisa. Well, first off, she's our friend, and we've known the entire family for over 20 years because all of them have trained in the dojo. And Lisa's husband, Paul, was on the show the other day when we recorded the fire episode. However, today we're being joined by the boss.
Yes.
Lucky for us, Lisa's career is in technology, so she's all set and ready to go. Please say hi, Lisa.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Okay, now the fun begins. This is such an insane subject that I say we start the way we usually end, with some quotes. And I believe, Landon, you're going to start me out.
I do, Sensei. I really like this quote from Musashi. There is nothing outside of yourself that can ever enable you to get better, stronger, richer, quicker, or smarter. Everything is within. Everything exists. Seek nothing outside yourself.
I love it. And I'm going to get a little silly and compare it to when, in The Wizard of Oz, the movie, the actual Wizard of Oz says to Dorothy, "You've always had the power. You just had to realize it for yourself." At the very end, when she has to click her heels
That's
together.
right. Click those red heels together.
Now, see, if I'm getting someone to watch that movie for the first time, I've gotten them to watch the movie and did a spoiler all in one sentence.
I've never seen it.
See, now I've done the spoiler for Landon, and he'll have to go watch the movie sometime. I still like the movie. I think it holds up. How about you?
I like most of the movie. Part of it just bores me. I just don't like the monkey part.
No, I don't like that part either.
Oh, good. But, if you cut it out, you wouldn't miss anything.
No.
So now we're becoming movie reviewers.
I think that we gotta have Wildcat Dojo movie conversations.
If we can get back on topic, please, Sensei Jackie.
Well, I'll add one. Master Collegian said, the power of splitting the elements, dissolving one element and summoning another, along with the merging of all the elements into one, is probably one of the most difficult tasks that a martial artist can accomplish in a combative situation.
I'm 85% sure that we read that one in the book of Set.
Yes.
Okay, do you think we freaked everybody out?
I don't know.
Overwhelmed them, so they're going to go, okay, too much for me for today? Hey, mid-podcast, we have a joke.
We
That's
do.
true.
And it's a funny one. Sensei Jackie found it. Let's give her the props now. Okay, let's go back a little. We've discussed all of the elements individually as they were brought to me through Master Collegian. So let's do a round-robin review. I'll say an element, and then we'll say a few things about it to bring it back into our own memories, okay?
Sure, Sensei.
All right, let's start with air. Well, air is intellect,
We need air to live.
Windy.
and in movement, it's stillness.
Us.
And it's the brain.
Yes,
True.
and air is an essential element. Of course, all of these are.
Yes.
Well, I guess we could live without fire, but it'd be miserable. It'd be as bad as living without AC.
Yes.
Living without fire is living without love.
Okay, now let's do water.
Ooh.
Water and movement is flow.
That was a fun episode.
Physical body.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We
I
loved
like
the
that one.
physicality episode. I liked that one.
Us.
And fire.
Well,
Well, it
we
was-
said love,
And it was with Paul.
So it's emotion.
Us.
right?
And it's speed.
Heart.
And finally, just a couple weeks ago, we did Earth with Sensei Lydia.
That was one of my favorites.
Me too.
Power.
Chi.
Power, yeah, and having it either internal and external.
Right.
Right.
That's a good
And
one.
also having both the heart and the soft.
Us.
The will to act and the will to hold still and not act.
And be patient.
Yes.
Us.
Okay.
That was a hard part of that one.
Everything that we just talked about, like I said, I'm trying really hard to put this out there without overwhelming people, but it is an overwhelming thing. I mean, Master Collegian said is one of the most difficult tasks that a martial artist can, he wrote accomplish. I'm going to go try to accomplish,
Us.
I think so too.
right?
Us.
Okay, everybody brought up some good stuff there. I do want to stop right here and mention that historically, there is a fifth element, the void, that is in both Chinese philosophy and even in the Musashi book. According to Musashi, it is the unseen and the ability to set a strategy.
I like that idea for maybe a strategy episode.
Yeah, well, we know we're going to do a strategy episode. We've got that in the works.
That would
But
be
these
fun.
are complicated things, and the more I study them, the more complicated it gets. And I'm like, Okay, Michelle, keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Well, they always are.
It's true.
Okay, we ready to get into it?
Us.
I think so, Sensei.
It looks like I get to start things out with this example. Do you remember when I said at the end of the fire episode that fighting fire with fire only gives you ashes?
Yes.
I remember that.
So if someone is coming toward you angrily, it's best to meet that anger with softness, a wind or a water, or even a mix of the two elements, right?
It's true.
Anybody want to say any other examples and or opinions?
I have that happens a lot of time at work too, when someone's upset about something. So I try to give them that understanding and let them understand that I know how they're feeling. So bringing in that softness to soften their anger, and then try to diffuse it and help them with their situation. Because especially now, a lot of people get very frustrated very easily.
Technology will do that to you.
Yes, exactly.
You know, one of the things that I say all the time that we like to do here is tell people actually how to accomplish to bring that softness forward. So after you probably, Lisa, take a big breath.
Us,
Right.
definitely.
Isn't one of the first things you do is just let them vent for a minute?
Us.
Yeah, us, exactly.
Because once they've vented, they feel better and they can listen.
Once it's out.
Us.
I agree with that.
I certainly think so.
And I think it also turns into empathy. a little
Well,
bit.
I don't think it turns into empathy. I think she's got empathy going into it.
Us.
You draw up on that skill inside of you that you've probably become very good at in these last 6 months.
It feels like it forever.
Yeah, we all agree that it feels like forever. I love that example. And I do think that this is an example of soft overcoming hard.
I totally agree.
Us.
All right. That was me saying, phew. Again, we're back to saying this. It's also easy to say, and it's very, very tricky to pull off. At this point, it's important to reiterate, you got to be forgiving of yourself because you're not going to get it right every time.
For sure.
Us.
And you have to be patient. Don't you agree
Us.
with that, Lise?
Us, definitely.
But let's try to share some reasons why it's important to keep on trying to do this. We're doing it in round robin the way we always do. And Lisa, I hope you're going to start us out.
Us. Well, here's one. It improves the quality of each day.
Ah.
The
Us.
simplest example is when you're already home and somebody comes into the house and they bring their mood with them.
Mm.
Instead of adopting their mood, you meet it with softness. So it turns what would ignite into a big hoopla into nothing, just blowing out a little candle, right?
That's it. And let them blow out a little bit of their anger, whatever they have.
And then everybody can get on with it. So it truly improves the quality of the day instead of turning into a big thing over whatever silly thing they brought in. It could have been traffic related or whatever.
Us, for sure.
Us.
Okay, what else do we have?
So here's another one. It increases the power each one of us has over our lives. And I need to start tallying now how many times that we've said, what we have control over is from our fingertips back. I could say that in my sleep. But I want to add something here. I wonder how the audience feels about that saying. Because we always talk about it, so maybe they could tweet us about it.
Ooh, I do like that idea. Okay, what's over there, Sensei Jackie?
Well, I got to say, I like this one. It allows you to fight and argue more strategically. If you have to have the argument, then at least do it a way that will be acceptable to both parties at the end.
I agree. All right, what's mine to add? Oh, I've got it. It's right here. It facilitates, boy, that's too big of a word, so let's change it.
I think it's an okay word.
It makes it easier to recover from all types of stress.
Okay.
How's that?
Good.
Us.
Does anyone have anything they want to add?
This is turning out to be so cool. I think everybody from different walks of life looks at this differently.
Of course, because when we had Paul on, he talked about it from the human resources perspective.
Right?
Well, when we had Sensei Lydia on, she talked about it from the standpoint of being the person who was in charge in her job at that time.
Us.
And with that, Lisa, start us out by giving us an idea of how does this process work?
Well, sometimes it's just something in your everyday life. You know, you're going around, you wake up late, you're rushing around, you drop something, knock your head on the cabinet, which I'm a klutz, so I always do.
I resemble that remark.
Yes, I mean, I'm always knocking into things because I'm sometimes moving too quickly. So, and that's when I have to really summon that stillness. I have to breathe and tell myself it's going to be okay and summon that flow inside. That more speed is making me sloppy or making me hurt, and it's only going to stop the fact of what I need to do. So I have to put away both the speed that's racing through my body and the distraction in my mind that I'm running late. And I've done this sometimes correctly and it works. So the quality of the time improved. So I get where I needed to be at that time. So it's just a matter of balancing the elements.
I like the way you put just in there. Just a matter of balancing the elements.
Yeah. Like it's easy.
Yes, exactly.
All right, I have another example. Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever had to put away a busy mind and call up something a little more sweet, kindness, and be there for somebody else? Like if they're heartbroken, but you saw that it was coming, or if they keep getting injured again and again, and you saw it coming because they were getting more and more wound up. Well, instead of saying any of the things that would hurt them more, you draw up another element, a forgiving element, an accepting element, because even if you don't like it, that is what people should do for one another.
Who care for each other.
Who care for each other. That is correct.
I agree with that.
Agree. Totally agree.
All right, Sensei Jackie, that was a great example. And I have done that. And frankly, it's very difficult.
Yes.
But I want to make this subject a little bit more complex. Thanks, Sensei Michelle. There are situations where tough love is what is called on, is what is called for.
Yes, that's true.
And to be able to know that that is the right time and the right thing is also a function of dissolving emotions and summoning the will to act. And it's also an example of doing what's right when it is unimaginably difficult.
Deep breath.
Yes.
Deep breath. Whew. Wow. We need a deep breath and a joke.
All right. Let's see. As far as I know, Sensei Jackie was the only person who found us a joke that's about the elements.
And it was kind of tough to find, but I have one.
Thanks, Sensei.
Here it goes. If Amazon has fire, and Apple has air, and Google has earth, don't you think that Microsoft should have water?
Yeah, it's a good joke.
It is.
So on we go. Do you guys remember how Master Collegian used to use the words summon and dissolve to describe the actions that we would try to take?
Yes, I've heard you say that before.
I definitely remember it.
And I use call up and compartmentalize. What words do you usually say inside yourself?
My words are just put it in a Ziploc bag and shut the top.
But what about to call up?
Open the bag.
That's interesting.
I like that.
Did you ever consciously think about how you do it, Lise?
No, I never actually did. I mean, but right now I can just kind of think of maybe a file cabinet and different files.
That's an interesting
That's
visual.
good. I like that.
Okay, that was our relaxation time. Didn't feel that relaxing. Just that one little Microsoft joke is all we got out of it. But we're going to move on to an example of summoning and dissolving in the physical sense from Master Collegian's book of Set. The ability to summon and dissolve, he says, allows the fighter to run off an unbelievable amount of combinations and within a heartbeat return to the soft and the supple. In a reality situation, this is very difficult.
It's the weekend and I'm overwhelmed. Something's not right. Something's missing.
So what you're saying is you see it and you hear it, but you're saying, holy cow it.
This is holy cowing. Whew. No.
And it is difficult in any situation.
Yeah, it's not just in a physical fighting situation.
That's correct.
So I have an actual example from competitive fighting back when I was a Q. I used to fight with this girl and she was a great fighter. And in order to beat her, I would get her mad because it would slow her down. And so I could get my strike in before she got her strike in so I could get the point. But then when she hit me. Like, ouch. So I would win, but I would come away like super bruised all over cheek and arm and thigh and
oh my God,
all over the place. Right? So I'm not sure it was worth the price. What do you guys think?
I don't know. But you know what, Sensei? I thought of a good example that you taught me and I've used often, and it is much, much less violent. You know, when we're teaching little kids how quickly they'll just overpower the room with their voices, their crying, and their unbelievable ability to notice a weakness in a teacher and then play upon it.
I do know that.
Yes, you do.
Are we all familiar?
Yes, I can relate.
A quick, loud voice with a word like no or stop works amazingly to bring the students back to center. And then the smile, soft voice, humor, that just brings everybody back to focus point and puts us all on the same page. It is an amazing strategy to collect a dozen 3-year-olds back into your circle.
Very cool. Okay, let's brainstorm some ways we do this. How do you compartmentalize anger or even physical pain? And then how do you summon up things like empathy or even the will to act? Oh, I'm the starter on this one.
Us.
Just try. Just try it. See what happens.
Us.
Take that beat in between things.
Us. I'll add practice.
Oh, yeah.
You got to do it.
Yeah. And that takes us back to, and be forgiving when you get it wrong.
Us.
Yes.
Us. That sounds easy, but sometimes it's difficult. You have to make a conscious decision and decide to do it.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yes. So in other words, it has to be in your head as you go through your day
Us.
that you're going to give this a shot.
Us.
I'll finish it up with let your chi lead you.
I like that one.
I do
Us.
too.
Yeah. I think that's a good line for the beginning and the end of every podcast. Just let your chi be in charge. It's the most level-minded thing in your body.
Us.
Hey, am I allowed to say level-minded?
Why not?
Because, mind, chi, it's all very confusing.
I think so.
Let's just use our level and make it even.
It's the most level thing in the
The
body. I
body.
like that. I like
That
that.
was good. But it's a fascinating topic
Oh,
for sure.
and the thing that I loved once I got to this part of my training in karate was that a person can do this forever and ever, and it's so adventurous,
Us.
and yet it doesn't require a plane ticket
No.
or even a drive to a new location. Like, you can carry it with you everywhere you go. It's really cool that way.
Us.
And it
Really
works to make your life that much better.
Of course. Let's move on. And now let's bring up some situations where compartmentalizing, can't believe I pulled that word off, and summoning is not just handy, but more than that, it does what we said earlier, gives us more control.
I'll start here. Can we say sparring?
And we talked about sparring in the fire podcast,
Yes,
didn't
we
we?
did.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Mhm.
Yes. And that's a really good place to play if you
Oof.
train.
Us.
But if you don't train, there's plenty of other places, right?
How about arguing?
Yes, see, that's a really good place to work a strategy and to summon up softness or stand your ground, depending on what is called for.
Exactly, yes.
I have one, whether you're babysitting or raising your children.
Us.
Yeah, definitely. And with every age, there's different situations that come up that you need to bring that together and know when to use different parts.
Yeah, when to be soft, when to be hard, when to be strict, when to be understanding.
Definitely.
All right. So here it is. We have given you a lot of information on this podcast, and I am just too exhausted to add any more.
But I hope that they like this one.
Oh, me too. And they're going to give us the information. We're at Wildcat Dojo all over the web. Just
Us.
look. And we're at Dojo Conversations at AOL. And you can even voice us if you like that kind of thing at 954-350-1915. But what we're going to do is finish up with the quotes because that's what we love.
Yes, we do.
Started with the quotes and we're going to end with the quotes.
I was really lucky because I got Sensei Liam and Sensei Tracey to give us some feedback before this podcast aired. So they sent me some information and we're going to play it right now. And here's Sensei Tracey.
I think breath is key for me, especially in dissolving elements, especially anger. I don't anger quickly, but when I do, it's not easy to dissolve the fire that I'm feeling. So I would say trying to focus on chi by harnessing the way I'm breathing is a big help. Breath comes in again when I'm summoning, focusing on the breath before the element I want to summon, if that makes sense.
It does make sense to me. You guys
Us.
agree?
Oh,
Sure.
yes, Sensei.
That makes a lot of sense.
There's not a podcast that's gone by that we haven't mentioned breathing.
Oh, for
I don't
sure.
think so.
And Sensei Liam brought up the idea, and I really like this too, by the way, that it's important to be open enough to accept not only new ideas, but also change within yourself.
Yes.
He also suggested people consider that Tyson Deshimaru said, science can discourse forever on the qualities of water, its temperature, its mass, etc. Zen is drinking it.
You know what? That reminds me of a quote from Musashi. It is essential to be careful with intellectual definitions at this point.
I like that.
Oh, see, I like that,
I
right?
do too.
Okay, back to Sensei Liam. He also said in discussing summoning calm versus summoning power, he suggested soft breathing versus quickening and even powered breathing. This is a great exercise. Let's give a quick example. How about just a simple meditation versus tencha?
Oh, yes.
And we show examples of the tension breathing in the self-defense book.
Yes, we
to
do.
empower a person. And also, we've mentioned in a couple of podcasts that even if you're not in training, you can pull up tension kata on YouTube super easily. TENSHOA. Just type it in, it'll come right up, and you'll get an idea of that power breathing. And then it's the same pattern, but with the soft release brings the calming. Thanks so much to Sensei Liam for that, right?
Yes, thank you,
for
Sensei.
sure.
Okay, he had one more. If you want to be able to summon your fight anywhere, practice your kata everywhere, not just in the dojo. For this gym, he cited our friend Funakoshi. Do not think of karate as only in the dojo, is the quote that Sensei Liam sent me from Funakoshi. And I want to say thanks to both Sensei Liam and Sensei Tracey, right?
Yes, Sensei.
Us, for sure.
Okay, we got a couple more quotes. Let's finish it off here.
I'll start with this one. What we do a lot of, we become very good at. We did a whole episode on that one. What date did that come out?
I believe that it came out
It was last
in
fall.
the first week of December. That's like kind of what I remember.
Wow, is he good
That's
or
what
what?
I think, because I remember.
Let's just
Us.
encourage him to look back and find it, because that was a great episode and a lot of people have listened to it.
Us with Sensei Greg, right?
Maybe.
Okay,
Us.
you're up.
Okay, I'll start with the Master Collegian quote. When the elements unite perfectly in kata, beauty and death become visible in the eyes of the novice.
I like that one, right?
That's a great quote.
That's a great one.
Moving on. And Master Collegian said, because you can learn and understand these elements, you can control your environment better.
And what I love about that is that the implication is that by controlling the inside of our small internal universe that is our body,
Us.
we can ripple affect the environment around us, which we have talked about before.
Yes, we have.
Okay, if you're out there and you have an opinion about anything we said on this episode, please get in touch with us. We'd love to share any of your ideas,
Us.
right?
Yes.
And with that, it's time for us to do Honor Athletics, guys.
We love them.
Because they sponsor us, and that's very kind of them. And they're a small business, and I love that about them.
Us.
And they say that if we say Wildcat Dojo or we put it on our order sheet, they get a 10% discount.
Thank you.
And that helps us out.
Yes. So reach them at honorathletics.com or
770-945-5150.
Lisa, it was such a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Let's say goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
I'm signing out for now.
Thanks for being here. Hope you join us again on Wildcat Dojo Conversations.